Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. Israeli security forces are still searching for the Palestinian terrorist or terrorists who critically wounded a pregnant woman and her child and injured 6 others in a shooting attack in the OFRA settlement on Sunday. Security camera footage shows a car with Palestinian plates pulling up to a bus stop near OFRA in the West Bank where a group of Israelis were standing. And then someone in the car opens fire as the people scramble to get away. It's currently believed that there were 2 suspects in the vehicle. Troops in the area then, quote, responded by firing towards the suspect vehicle, which fled, end quote. 6 civilians were injured light to moderately, but a 21-year-old pregnant woman was critically injured when she was shot in the stomach during the attack. She was rushed initially in stable condition to the Shaare Tzedek Medical Center in Jerusalem, but according to hospital officials, quote, she arrived in a state of shock and had lost a lot of blood. Her baby was then delivered via cesarean section at just 30 weeks into pregnancy and transferred to a premature infant ward. Both the mother and child are still a long way from recovery, though, and the woman's husband was also moderately wounded in the shooting. Other victims in the attack included a man in his early 20s and 2 16-year-old girls. Prime Minister Netanyahu said Israel will not rest until we find these murderous criminals, and both he and President Rivlin wished a speedy recovery to the victims. The Hamas terror group in Gaza, however, praised the West Bank shooting and the, quote, heroes who perpetrated it. And this is just days after the United Nations refused to condemn the group as a terrorist organization. It's now been confirmed as Operation Northern Shield advances that the IDF has been urging Lebanese residents to leave their homes in 2 towns over the Blue Line due to explosives likely to come from Hezbollah terror tunnels. The 2 border towns are Kfar Kila and Ramia, and a military spokesperson said that the residents indeed should evacuate their homes as soon as possible. IDF Arabic spokesperson Avichai Adrai explained in a tweet to the residents that, quote, Hezbollah put an explosive barrel under your homes, and we do not know what the consequences of the operations will be for the homes on the Lebanese side, end quote. This is an apparent reference to what may be set off during Israel's attempts to neutralize Hezbollah's tunnel network. Along with the tweets, Adrai also inserted pictures of what cities were at risk, and he circled in red the neighborhoods that the IDF believed would be most affected, adding that the residents' lives are in danger. Netanyahu, meanwhile, called on the international community to condemn and sanction Hezbollah for their operations. IDF Chief Gadi Eisenkot likewise met with top leaders of the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, or UNIFIL, to point out the tunnels and how they constitute flagrant violations of UN Resolution 1701, which establishes a demilitarized zone along the northern Israeli-Lebanon border. So far in response, the Lebanese army has only indicated that it plans to enhance their patrol presence along the border, but just this week, Hezbollah photographed IDF soldiers marking a part of the border, and Israel views Hezbollah as both an Iranian proxy and ultimately an arm of the Lebanese government as well. In other news, Palestinian resident of Jaljulia in Israel, Ahmed Salama, was shot dead near his home on Friday, and Palestinian media reports that the killing was allegedly over the sale of West Bank land to Jews. Selling land to Jews is punishable by death in the Palestinian Authority, and indeed a Ynet report did recently point to Salama as being wanted by the PA for such a sale. But that's where the story takes a turn. Salama was also apparently suspected of illegal arms sales and was arrested for unspecified reasons last week by the IDF. Then, while it's true that selling land is punishable by death, it's worth noting that typically a death sentence would need to be given by President Abbas, who has not issued one in over a decade. Further, it's unclear what land he sold and to whom, and Salama had previously denied the allegations against him. An investigation has been opened. As part of an ongoing project, the area around 3 churches near the Jordan River, where Jesus is believed to have been baptized, has now finally been cleared of more than 1,500 landmines. And now for the first time in over 50 years, the monasteries at the Qasr al-Yahud baptism site will see congregants and pilgrims once again. Because the area was for a long time an active war zone, the total goal is to clear 6,500 landmines from the area by 2020. And as of now, just 3 of the 7 churches in the area have been given the all-clear by the 22 explosive sappers running the project. But considering the Israeli authorities believe many of the targeted areas to be heavily booby-trapped in addition to just being mined, the progress thus far is remarkable. Those in charge include the Israeli Defense Ministry and the British anti-mine organization the Halo Trust. And the Halo Trust, which is a UK-based demining group, has provided 10 million shekels, around $2.6 million, while the Israeli government has provided 6.5 million shekels, or around $2 million towards the project. Up until now, sappers have cleared the Greek Orthodox monastery, the Franciscan chapel, and the Ethiopian monastery of the Trinity. Still yet to be cleared are the Syrian Orthodox monastery, the Russian chapel, the Coptic monastery, and the Romanian monastery. That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.